Hello, everybody. So this video is going to help you continue on in your notes. So today we're going to be talking about the pathway of blood through the heart. So we should be on slide number 18 in your notes. So I would open your notes in Notability, go to slide 18, should look just like this, and then split screen with this video in Schoology. And then what I would do is pause your video now and draw the same kind of heart like I have. So it's okay to draw like a clip art version of a heart and then just divide it into the 4 chambers, kind of like I did. Okay, so pause your video now and draw this heart. Okay, hopefully you have the heart drawn on slide 18. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw all the structures of the heart first, and then after we have the structures in place, we will then trace the pathway of blood. Okay, we're going to start off with the right side of the heart. So you want to get a blue marker selected, and we're going to draw the structures on the right side of the heart in blue because they are low in oxygen. So let's start off with the vena cava. And the vena cava is the vein that brings the blood into the right atrium. Okay, next, let's label the right atrium. Okay, the right atrium is that top chamber of the heart on the right side, receives the blood from the vena cava. All right, next let's draw a valve. So I'm just going to draw it kind of like a V shape. And let's label that valve the tricuspid valve. Now, this valve is also known as the right AV valve, so you can call it that too. It's on the right side of the heart, in between the atriums and ventricles. Okay, next let's label the lower chamber of the heart. I'm sorry for the weird zooming. I still have not figured out how to zoom properly and explain everything. So sorry about that. Okay, so then we got our right ventricle. Nope, there we go. Okay, that's the lower chamber of the heart on the right side. Now, this is a little hard, this next part, to show on a 2D picture because this is a very three-dimensional structure. But we need to show the pulmonary artery leaving the right ventricle. And it kind of goes from the right ventricle and then like up and out the top of the heart. So I'm just going to show it coming from here and then like up and out like that. Okay, now you guys are in Notability, so if you want to get rid of these little, black lines and make it look a little nicer, that would be totally fine, but I cannot do that. All right, so let's label that the pulmonary artery. Struggling again. Pulmonary. I'm just going to abbreviate it. Okay. And then let's draw the valve inside there. So again, I'm just going to kind of draw it in a V. I'm going to switch the direction though. And let's see, where could we write this? Zoom in. I think I'm just going to call it, I'll just abbreviate it like pulmonary valve. So that's the pulmonary semilunar valve. Okay. All right, so those are the structures, the key structures on the right side of the heart. And now we will move on to the left side of the heart. Okay, so for the left side of the heart, let's use red because it represents blood that is high in oxygen. So let's start with the pulmonary veins that come into the left atrium. So these are the pulmonary veins. And then while I have it zoomed in, I'm going to label the left atrium. Okay. Now from right between the left atrium and the left ventricle, let's add a valve, and let's call it the bicuspid valve. Okay, now that we have the bicuspid valve, let's go down and label the left ventricle. Just going back up to that bicuspid valve for a second, you could also call that the left AV valve, or it's also known as the mitral valve. Okay, after the left ventricle, let's draw the aorta. Again, the aorta is going to leave that left ventricle and then kind of go up and out like the center of the heart and kind of behind the pulmonary artery. So let's label the aorta, and then right inside the aorta, draw your aortic semilunar valve. Okay, so let's zoom back out. So now we have the 4 major vessels, the 4 chambers, and the 4 valves. Okay, let's trace the pathway of blood through the heart. So we're going to start off with blood coming back from the body. So I'm actually going to start with the blue pen. Okay, so this blood has been deoxygenated. It has dropped up all the oxygen all over the body, and it is now returning back to the heart. So it is low in oxygen. So let's start with vena cava, and we're going to number it number 1. And I'm actually going to use a highlighter. I normally would use like a dotted marker, so you guys have that in Notability, so you could use that. But let's draw the blood coming from the body through the vena cava. I numbered the vena cava number 1, so I remember the pathway. And then we're going to stop at the right atrium, number 2. Then we're going to travel through that tricuspid valve, so that would be number 3. Through that tricuspid valve to the right ventricle, which would be number 4. Then once it leaves the right ventricle, it's going up the pulmonary valve, so number 5, through that pulmonary artery, so number 6. And then it'll go up, it'll veer to the left, it'll also go to the right, there's another branch, and it'll go to the 2 lungs. So I'm just going to draw lungs right here, and I'm going to do something fancy, and I'm going to switch halfway, because at the lungs, it's getting oxygenated, and that's where it's getting full of oxygen. Okay, now, at the same time, the other side of the heart is going through its pathway, the left side. So I think a lot of people get confused, and they think the right side of the heart contracts and then the left side, and the right and the left side. And that's not how it works. The top contracts and the bottom contracts. So the atria contract and the bottom contract. So I'm going to switch my pen color to red, and I want you to understand that at the same time, these things are happening. So pulmonary veins, the blood is going to leave the lungs and go through the pulmonary veins into the left atrium. At the same time, the vena cava is draining the blood into the right atrium. So that happens at the same time. Okay, then we have our first heartbeats. And the blood is going to go, let's see, we have to number left atrium number 2. And then it's going to go through the bicuspid valve. So let's label that number 3. Into the left ventricle, number 4. Then up and out the aorta. It's going to pass through the aortic valve and the aorta. And then it's going to go deliver its blood to the body. and then it'll become low on oxygen and it'll go pass through the right side of the heart. So once again, the top of the heart contracts and the bottom of the heart contracts. So when I labeled vena cava 1, pulmonary veins 1, that's because it's happening at the same time with every heartbeat. Okay, I hope this helps trace the pathway of blood through the heart. We will do a practice maybe tomorrow in notability, but I hope this helps. Let's continue on to the next slide. All right, on the next slide, you have a great cadaver video. We actually already watched this in class, but feel free to watch it again. Go on to the next slide. This is a great view of the aorta. If I remember tomorrow in class, I will show you, or you can watch it on your own right now. Okay, two things we have to talk about so you can continue on with the rest of the lab. The circulation that we have going through your body. I kept mentioning that we have low oxygen blood on your right side and high oxygen blood on your left side. And there's kind of two circuits in your body that blood takes. You have the pulmonary circuit. The pulmonary circuit, anytime you see the word pulmonary, think lungs. Okay, this is from the right side of the heart to the lungs and then back again. And this functions to bring blood to the lungs for gas exchange. So you can see the pulmonary circuit in the top of this picture. It's all about the lungs. This is when the blood is getting filled with oxygen and then going back to the heart. And then the other circuit that we have in our body is called the systemic circulation. And this is all about the body. So this is when blood is getting delivered to the different tissues of the body and then returned to the heart. So your blood is constantly in one of these two circuits or circulations in your body. Okay, one of the structures that you have to identify on your heart, and one of the ones that I asked you to identify first, is the coronary arteries. And the coronary arteries are the arteries that supply blood to the heart muscle itself. Okay, so the blood inside the heart actually does not nourish the heart. The coronary arteries are the ones that are bringing blood to the heart muscle or the myocardium. And then the veins are the ones that drain this blood and return it back to the heart. So you can see in the images, there's more than one coronary artery. There's different branches of it. So the one that we find that travels through the center of the heart is just one of the larger ones that are easiest to see, but there are other ones too. All right, again, I'm going to try to pull this up in class tomorrow, but this is a great view of the coronary arteries on a human heart. All right, if you'd like a little review of the anatomy of the heart that we talked about so far, this is a great video for you to watch. I recommend watching it till about a little after 8 minutes. 8 minutes, it starts getting into blood pressure, and we're not going to do that right now. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to talk about today is a homeostatic imbalance that is related to your coronary arteries. And this is angina pectoris. Angina pectoris is really just a fancy word for chest pains. So chest pains or angina pectoris can be due to a few different reasons, but typically it's when the myocardium, the heart muscle, is being deprived of oxygen. So if your heart beats too quickly, it can cause that. And maybe if you have a blockage in the coronary arteries, and if the chest pain is ignored, it could lead to a myocardial infarction or a heart attack. So chest pain could be a sign of your heart muscle being deprived of oxygen and should definitely not be ignored. Okay, we might watch this one in class tomorrow if we have time. This describes what happens during a heart attack. So it's actually a great video to watch. It talks about some of the risk factors and some of the signs and symptoms of a heart attack. So we'll watch this one tomorrow. All right, guys, thank you for watching this podcast. Hopefully it helped continue your notes. Tomorrow we can have time for questions and we will continue lab number 9. You should be able to do most of lab number 9 now. The only parts that you can't do are the ones where you need to take pictures or videotape the actual heart, which we can finish tomorrow.